Welcome, Bud. Thanks for coming in today.
Well, thanks, Anthony, for having me come in. It's a pleasure to come back after 10 years away from or 11 years away from the company.
Well, you are the longest serving CFO at Progres, and actually the first CFO at Progres.
Yeah, that's right, because when I was first hired back in 96, they wanted a CFO that would effectively go on the road, and they also wanted someone who understood go on the road, i.e. for the analysts, and also wanted somebody who was interested in business partnering, because they had the best technology people as far as technical accounting people. They're all basically Deloitte, but they wanted someone with a business background. So that happened to be lucky because I didn't have that technical background. It was a good combination, and started, like you said, in 96, and I was there till 2000. 2010, wow. I mean, 14, 15 years.
Well, and the business partnering aspect of finance is still, you'll be happy to know, alive and kicking and doing very well. Still to this day, really effective. I think that structure has stayed in place and hopefully retained like a good relationship with the business. And it was interesting to me coming in. I've only been here 18 months, but to have an organization like that established and that effective was just a huge benefit. So thank you for that. Now, what do you sort of remember from back in the day? I mean, obviously the company had evolved, gone through pretty dramatic runs of growth. What was it like being part of Progres back then?
Well, back in 96, there was, they had gone through a good spurt from basically zero to, I think it was about 130 million when I was there. And,
wow.
And you know, they were partners, and that's all they had. The open edge business. They didn't, and they were looking to get in some other things, but it was a very technical, not just financial, but very technical company. It seemed like everybody was technology driven. They were just a fun, loving, hard working, good company. It was just a fun company to come in the morning. Everybody, when you came in the morning, it was going to be a fun day. And even when I left, it was like that. It was just a bigger company.
Well, and for me coming in, I can tell you there's still a lot of that. And still, remarkably, there are people here who have been around for 10, 15, 20, 25 years, even longer than that. And there's a good number of them. And I think that says a lot about people wanting to be here and enjoying the people they work with and really being committed to the company. It's just a really good environment to come to work to. So I think a lot of that still stands.
The business partnering got the financial people involved in the business. And when they did that, between whoever they supported, you would find out that the accuracy of numbers and everything got better. So part of the whole process was getting not just them involved in the businesses, but also to get the whole company, the ones that didn't support the businesses, to understand that they all made an impact in the business. And I think if you asked people back then, you know, how much was 600,000 of operating profit, they'd say that was equal to 1 penny, 1 EPS penny. Everybody knew that. And every quarter I would stand up and say how much, the slide would go up, how much is a penny? The crowd would yell out, $600,000. and everybody, I told them, you know, everybody makes a difference. Even if you're a payables clerk and you say, hey, listen, you know, we don't need to buy all these pencils. It may be a small amount of money versus sales, who makes a big sale of 600,000, but all the little ones add up to $600,000. So
that's right.
So at the end of the year, when the year-end presentations were done, you know, Joe Alsop would do one. He was in charge of the company. R&D would do one. Everyone would do one. And at the end, finance would do one. And at the end, I'd be sitting in the front with the executive team, and then just before my presentation, I'd go back and I'd change into an outfit. And I'd change into an outfit. So they were all weighted. So if I came out, and as a matter of fact, I have a prop. I have the real thing. If I came out with this on,
all right, I feel like this is part of history, right?
Which is it is. This is back in the late 90s, and this was if I came out with a raincoat on and some big boots, it was a downer. And then they'd have the slides with being in the ocean and the waves coming over. And it'd be all boo-hoo, boo-hoo. But then we'd finish it with "It's always next year." So, and if I came out with this shirt on and my shorts, it'd be, yay, we're gonna go on a trip. And I'd wear this out there.
That is an awesome shirt.
And I'd be wearing this. And more times than not, the shirt was the winner. The other big thing we did was the NASDAQ. You know, back in 2001, the company was on the NASDAQ for 10 years. So we marketing said we should go down and open the NASDAQ. It's a good opportunity to get some. One of the problems we ran into as a company was no one knew who Progress Software was. It was like, Progress who? So we said, okay, we'll go to NASDAQ, open NASDAQ, and we took down a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And the most fun thing was, when you looked at it was when people came from the hotel to the NASDAQ in the morning, we opened it. When they came around the corner and on the tower, if you've ever been to New York, that tower,
yep,
it would say NASDAQ welcomes Progress Software. And when you see your company on that tower, it's just a different feeling. You say, oh my God, look at that.
Right, yeah.
And so, that was the first one. The second one was we had just started profitability, and the rest of it, back in 2002, technology was in the tanks.
Yeah, yep.
So they brought us back for the second time. Third one was the luck out. Went down with Mitt Romney because he won the 3 best companies and growing companies in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
We happen to be one of the only profitable ones going.
And we get to go back now this year. This will be the 30, 40, I guess, anniversary, right? 30 years public, 40 years in business. But I think it's the first time we've been back since, somebody said 2015. So I think since you departed, the company probably has only gone once, maybe.
Yeah.
So this has been a long time coming, and I think it'll be fun. I think we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, we went 10 years in a row, and then you're right, it stopped. But I think when you go back, like you said, it's just, depends on how many people you can bring, but it is such a fun environment for people to go and see that.
Well, and it's unbelievable. The company's been around for 40 years, been public for 30 years, and is still unbelievably strong financially, still has, phenomenal technology, even though we've divested and reacquired a bunch of things. It really is a remarkable company. As you sort of look at Progress today and see how things are moving forward, and you think back to the time when you were here, what are you most proud of?
Well, obviously, the fact that the people are still so motivated and excited about working here. That's like, and that says the culture. The culture's good. I mean, because that's what drove it in the beginning. Everybody was willing to learn and try hard and do something different, because there was a different change for them. Yeah. Going to business partnering was a huge shock for people. Yeah. And that was tough. And then, getting everybody in, like we talked about, going up the earnings and stuff. And then this part of the growth strategy back then, and I think you guys have it today too, but back then was this double strategy, we called it. So it was, we wanted to get to double-digit organic growth and grow earnings faster. That was a double. So the way we couldn't do it with just open edge. So we said we're going to go acquire some companies, and the double strategy was you would acquire a company, so it wasn't, i.e. the first year organic growth. Yep. And then the strategy, but you had, when we acquired it, you had to make sure, at least when you set up the earning, when you set up the P&L, that you believed that the next year you could grow them, that group you bought, double digit. Yep. Because sooner or later, if you bought all these things for double digit, you're going to bring the mothership up who couldn't grow double digit. Right. It was growing very profitable, very nice, single digits. And so the double was that strategy. So we bought companies, and the reason we could grow many, because the analysts would say, you just can't add something and grow double. And I said, well, you buy companies that are 20, 40, 60 million dollars, and they don't have any presence outside of North America. You can grow them double digits. That's right. We have a huge network. Like Data Direct was probably one of the better acquisitions. Yeah, and that's still here, still stable, still profitable, just solid technology. Open Edge, same thing. And you're right, we're now using M&A to drive growth, and we're trying to find companies that have a little bit of growth. They don't need 20%. Right. But if we've got companies, and Ipswich was a great example of this. It was a company that really wasn't growing pre-acquisition, and we bought it, integrated it into our business. And I think we've got expertise in-house, and we can run these businesses efficiently. We can open things up maybe in other geographies where they didn't have opportunity before. And we've seen growth in an asset like Ipswich that wasn't growing before. Right. And you do 2 of those, and all of a sudden you've bought $150 million worth of revenue that's got a little bit of growth to it. Right. And if you string that strategy together, it's exactly what you're talking about is, just trying to improve, your product portfolio, your customer base, and maybe your growth profile overall. And so, it's a strategy it's funny you say that. It's, I think, everything old is new again, right? Yeah, right. And, we always used to remind the employees to make sure they got involved in the employee stock purchase plan. Oh, yeah. Which is one of the best plans, I think, in the world. Yes. And also to get into 401k because the match was so good. So we had always, in addition to promoting year end, we'd always say, listen, for your own, sake, get into this, because if this goes up by this much,
Yep.
that's going to pay for college education. And the way this plan works, unless the company fails completely, this is going to be a great program.
Yeah.
And many people are in it.
I'm happy to make this a commercial for the ESPP because it's still here. It's the best ESPP.
Same one?
Same one.
Oh, geez.
And it's probably gotten better over time if we've been able to improve any of the provisions. We've tried.
Yeah.
But it is the most generous employee stock purchase plan I've ever seen at any company I've ever been at. It's the most generous plan I've ever heard of at any company. Yeah. And I think if people are not enrolled and they listen to this interview, they should go do it immediately.
We already said, listen, when you get a raise, go in the stock purchase plan. Just make believe you didn't get it. And then when that thing matures, you're going to have a pile of money.
That's right.
Plus the discount you get it with.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic.
It was fantastic. Yeah. And the 401k was the same thing. That was another good rich pram, which is even better because it was always pre-tax. And
that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So those were the two programs. And people, if they were it was a very financially friendly company to work for. I mean, you worked hard, you had a lot of fun, but even sales kickoffs, company kickoffs, they were always just fun time and more to inform people of stuff, but a fun attitude when we did it.
That's right.
It was always, they're informant about numbers, informed about this, informed about that, but it was always in the whole context of a fun time.
Yeah.
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 It was clearly a great 14, 15-year environment for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, Bud, it was a pleasure having you in today. Thanks a lot for coming back. I feel like it is, the 30, 40 anniversary feels like a much bigger deal to me now. So I'm looking forward to it. And thanks for coming today.
I was excited to come in just to be able to live the past and see what the future is. So it's great to be together. Great to be here today.
Thank you.